Do you want to learn how to write your very own slash command? How you can implement this into your bot? Do you also want to learn how you can get your slash commands to accept input from a user and to respond based on that input? Well, that's what we're doing in today's video here. This video is all to do with slash commands. Hi friends, it's James and welcome back to my channel. This is episode 3 in creating a Discord bot in Python. And as you've just seen, today we're going to be looking at slash commands. So what are slash commands? Slash commands is a way of interacting with your bot. You run a slash command by typing slash in Discord and then typing the name of the function that you want to run. And this is one of the main ways in which you can interact with your Discord bot. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's add slash commands to our Discord bot. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import some new packages at the top here. Well, not new, but just part of this Discord PY package that we originally installed. So let me show you what I mean. We need to come up here and we need to type from discord.ext import commands. And then we also need to type from discord import app underscore commands. Just like this. So what we've done is we're essentially just extracting two smaller sub packages out of a discord.py package so that we can use them in the following code that we're about to write. Essentially, these two commands will allow us to write slash commands for our bot. So the next step is that we need to slightly rewrite how we've written this class function in the previous episodes. So all we need to do is change this discord.client to commands.bot, like that, capital B bot. And then what we need to do is we need to add an extra line below this intents. What we need to do is we need to write this. We need to write client is equal to client, open and close brackets, command underscore prefix is equal to open double quotes, exclamation mark, comma, intents is equal to intents. So what we've written here is essentially we're referring to this client class that we've written up here, and inside of it we're passing in the command prefix and intents. So what actually is this command prefix? So a few years ago, the way you interacted with Discord bots was by using a command prefix. So you'd type, in our case, exclamation mark, and then the name of the function you'd want to run. And that's how you would interact with your bot. That's how you would call functions in your bot. However, Discord have now removed command prefixes and have replaced them with slash commands. However, I believe you might still be able to use command prefixes. However, Discord are heavily trying to move away from it and are heavily pushing slash commands, which is what we're doing today. However, sadly, for the code to work, for us to write slash commands, we still have to include command prefix, which is slightly annoying, but oh well. So you don't actually have to give it an exclamation mark. You could give it anything else. You could give it maybe a question mark. You could give it a semicolon. However, in my case, I'm going to give it exclamation mark. And as you're never going to be using command prefixes, as I said, because they're outdated, leave it as exclamation mark. It won't cause any errors whatsoever. And then moving on to the second parameter we passed in, intents. That's just referring to these intents that I talked about in a previous episode. And the last thing we need to do in relation to this class is we need to delete this previous line we had where we were previously referring to the class. So to do that, all we do is we just delete. And that's it. We've now done everything we need to do in terms of the class. We can now start writing some code to create slash commands. So to create a slash command, the way you do it is this, is you want to type at client. Bear in mind here, this client is referring to this client object that we've created up here. So make sure it's the same name. So at client dot tree dot command, open and close brackets. So this is how you create a slash command. You're referring to the object you've created, and then you're referring to the tree and the command attributes, which is all inside of a discord.py package that we've installed. And inside of these brackets, what we want to do is we want to specify a name and a description. So this name is the name of the slash command you want to create. So in my case, we're going to create a slash command which just says hello. So in the case here, we're going to type hello as the name. And then we can also give a description of our slash command, what the slash command will do. So in Discord, when the user is looking through the slash commands, they can see what each slash command does via its description. So we need to give it an appropriate description. So we say description is equal to, and inside of this, we write the description of what our command does. So in our case, we want it to just say hello. So the description in my case will be say hello. Just like that. And that's how you specify the name and the description of a slash command. But what we need to do now is we actually need to write the code that gets our bot to reply when this slash command is run. So to do this, we're going to write async def and the name of the function. So in my case, what we're going to do is I'm just going to call it say hello. And inside of this function, we want to pass in interaction colon discord dot interaction colon. And then here we want to do something similar to what we did above. We're going to essentially reply to our bot. We're going to essentially send a message in the server where the slash command was run. So as I said, similar to above, we're going to do await and then interaction dot response dot send underscore message open and close brackets. So this is essentially saying wherever this interaction was, so in our case the interaction is the slash command, respond to this interaction by sending a message. So it's essentially saying respond to where this slash command was sent. And what do we want it to respond with? We want it to respond with saying hi there. Just like that. And there you go, we've written a slash command. And that's all you need to do to write one. However, if we were to run this, it wouldn't fully work immediately. And let me explain what I mean. The way slash commands work are you can either specify them for a specific server or globally. So let me explain both cases. When you're developing and testing and writing slash commands for your Discord bot, you'd most likely be testing it in a development server, maybe a server that only has you and the bot inside of it. So you'd specify to your slash commands to only work inside of that specific server you're working in. And in the other case, it's globally. So your slash commands would work in any server in Discord. So a random person could install your bot and they'd be able to access your slash commands. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, when I'm developing, why don't I just do it globally? Why don't I just write my slash commands so anyone could use them in the future, so I don't have to write some excess code specifying that it has to be in my specific development server? Well, the reason being is when you have your slash commands running globally, it takes about an hour for it to propagate across all Discord servers. So let's say we were to run this code right now and you'd be headed over to our Discord server. The slash command might not even appear right now. And the reason being is because of what I said about it taking a while for it to propagate all over your server. So let's say you're continuously making changes to your slash command. Maybe you're updating the spelling of something or adding some cool features to it. And you're continuously stopping your bot from running and rerunning it. If we were running it globally, it would take hours and hours for you to develop it because you'd stop your bot from running, you'd rerun your bot, have to wait an hour for it to update across Discord, make a change, rerun your bot and wait another hour. You can see what I'm saying. It would take hours for you to develop, which is why we specify an individual server when developing slash commands. Hopefully that makes sense. So in this case here, we're going to specify the server we're developing in. So I can show you how that works and how you can do it for yourself. So the first thing we need to do is get our unique server ID, because if you didn't know this, each Discord server has a unique ID. So let me show you how you can do this. So you want to first head over to Discord. So when you're inside of Discord, what you want to do is you want to come over to the settings over here. Once it loads, you want to come down in the side menu till you see a section called Advanced. You want to click that. And here there'll be a section called Developer Mode. You want to go ahead and enable it. I've already enabled it in my case. So once you've enabled it, you want to leave the menu and head back to your servers. And you want to head to the server in which you're doing your developing in. So in my case, our development server. And to get the unique ID of the server you're developing your bot in, what you want to do is you want to come over to the panel on the right where it shows the icon for your server. You want to right click And you want to go ahead and scroll down, and this new section has appeared at the bottom since we enabled developer mode, where it allows you to copy the server ID, which is your unique ID for your server. So you want to go ahead and copy it, and then we want to head back to where we're writing the code for our bot. And just for now, we're going to just paste it in a new line so we don't lose it. We now need to specify to this slash command that it can only run in this specific server. So when we run our Python code, it will immediately go to our server that we've just specified and add the slash command to it. So we don't have to wait at all. So to do this, what we're going to do is we're going to type guild underscore ID is equal to discord dot object open and close brackets ID is equal to, and this is where we enter our unique server ID. So if we paste it in there, there we go. Now, what we need to do is we need to tell this slash command to only run in our specific server. So to do this, at the end of where we specify the name and the description, we just need to add another parameter. And in this case, the parameter is called guild. So what we're going to write is guild is equal to guild underscore ID. Just like that. So you can see here, the guild is now referring to this Discord object that we created, which represents our Discord server. So now this should all work. So let's run this and let's head to Discord. However, you can see I've got an error. The error being the value hello must be all lowercase. And I do apologize about this. I completely forgot to mention something. In the name here, the name has to be lowercase. It can't be capitalized. The description can be, but the name can't be. The name has to be all lowercase. So if we rerun this, it should hopefully now work. So if we go to Discord, so to access your slash commands, as I mentioned towards the beginning of the video, you type the /. It will pop up with this menu here. And what this menu shows are all the available slash commands in that specific server that you're in. So in my case, you can see here, look, I've got slash commands from the bot developer, slash commands from the bot YouTube bot. And if I scroll down a lot further, you can see slash commands which are built in just all over Discord. So this YouTube bot one, we're going to ignore. This is just a separate bot that I was working on for a different video. Developer is the bot that we're working on, which is what we're going to be looking at here today. However, what you might be thinking is, yes, it worked. Look, the slash command hello has appeared. However, it hasn't. So what this is here is a command that I was testing before I was making this video. So as you'll notice here is hello is spelt like this. However, when we wrote our code, I spelt hello with an extra O because I knew that this problem was going to appear and I wanted to show you how you'd fix it on your end. So yes, our slash command hasn't appeared, the one that we've written. In your case, this is the first time you're writing slash commands. You might not have any slash commands at all. You might not see any bots even appearing in your menu. You might only see the built-in ones that are available across all Discord servers. But I'm sure you're thinking, oh, I said that this would appear immediately in your server because we're specifying the server ID. Well, that is the case sometimes, and your slash command might very well be appearing when you do your /. However, in certain cases, like we have here, it hasn't appeared. So how do we fix this? Well, what we need to do is we need to essentially force our Discord bot to sync our slash command to Discord. So how do we do this? So what we need to do is we need to add a couple of lines of code to our bot to do this, and then our slash command will appear. So let's head back to where we're coding. And what we're going to do is, as I said, so we're now going to write those lines of code. So what we're going to do is up here in our onReady. This is a throwback. We're going back to episode 1 where we're looking at our onReady function. And we're not going to change anything. We're just going to add a couple of things. We're going to add a try and accept loop. And in this try and accept, what we're going to do is we're going to do where we essentially sync our slash commands to Discord. So to do this, what we want to do is you're going to copy the guild ID, this whole object that we made before, paste it up here. However, just rename guild ID to guild in this case. And then what we're going to do is we're going to write synced is equal to await self.tree.sync open and close brackets guild is equal to guild. Essentially, what this line of code is doing is syncing our guild objects that we've created, our unique ID, our development server that we're writing our code to Discord. As you can see through this use of this sync, we're just passing in our guild, our server object here. And then just to show that it's been successfully synced, we're going to write a print message which has an F string of synced, and then we're going to type len synced. Oh, I missed a bracket. Command to guild.id. Just like that. And that's it. And essentially what will happen is if this is successfully synced, it will print a message in the terminal down below saying it syncs however many slash commands you have to the server you're developing on, which you'll see when you run it. However, we need to just write the except part of this loop, just in case something goes wrong. So up here, we're going to write except exception as E, and here what we're going to do is just going to print that error. So print an F string again, error syncing commands colon, and then we're just going to pass in that error message so we can see what the error is if there is a problem. So now let's rerun this and let me show you what's going to happen. So then we rerun, you can see it's going to connect to Discord, and look at this. Hopefully, look, it says synced one command to the guild and then my unique guild ID. How cool is that? So now hopefully when we head to Discord, our command will be there. So if we enter / again, look at this. Our new command has appeared. Hello with an extra O on the end. How cool is that? And that should now have appeared in your server too. So if we click on this and look, you can see here it has our description, say hello. And if watch this, if we run this, our bot has replied with hi there. How cool is that? You've written your first ever / command. How exciting is that? And hopefully that all worked for you. If for some reason it didn't work, don't worry. I've got a Discord server where we've got a great community where someone will happily help you out. So please feel free to join. Link down below in the description if you have any problems, or even if you just want to come say hi, we're all hanging out on there. So yeah, but yes, how cool is that? You've written your first / command. But we're not going to stop there. I'm going to show you something else we can do, which is cool. I'm going to show you how you can pass in arguments to a / command, how a user can pass something in to it. So what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, hello, the user could then type something afterwards. So let's head back to the code. I'm going to write this and I can show you what it does. So what we're going to do is we're going to write another / command, which will essentially get the bot to send a message back whatever the user has passed into it. So to do this, we're going to just essentially copy this command we've written before and just paste it below. Oops, we've got a formatting issue. There we go. I'm going to update the name to be printer, because essentially because as I said, we're going to print whatever the user passes in. And the description, I'm just going to give it, I will print whatever you will say, whatever you give me. And we also want to update our function, so it's not the same function name. We're just going to give it the name printer. And now this is the fun bit. We get to specify the argument in which the user can pass in. So in our case, we just want the user to pass in whatever they want to print. So a string. So in this case here, we're going to add a comma after our interaction we just rewrote here in the function name. And we're going to pass in another parameter. We're going to give it a name, printer. And we can just specify that it's a string. That's the only thing we're going to be passing into this function. And this essentially says to the Discord bot, to this / command, that this function here will be having one argument being passed into it by the user, a parameter which is a string. However, you could have multiple. You could also pass in maybe an integer, for example. So maybe, I don't know, you wanted to pass in a number. So you could do num and then an integer being passed in. So you could get the user to pass two things into the / command. You can see where I'm going with this. But in this case here, we're just going to pass in one. And with this function we're writing here, all this function is going to do is going to print out whatever the user gives it. So in this case here, all we want the Discord bot is to reply back with whatever the user passes. So in our case, this printer variable we've created, this printer, whatever the user passes into the printer will get printed straight back out to them. And that's all we need to do. So let's rerun this code. Let me show you what this does inside of Discord. And something I want to quickly point out is look here in our terminal. Because we've now written 2 slash commands, look at this. It now says syncs 2 commands to your guild, to the server you're testing your bot on, which is so cool. So if we head to Discord now and we open up the slash command menu again, look at this. We now have 2 commands. We've got our hello command, which we wrote before, and we've now got our new command, printer. And look at this. You can see here, when I hover over printer, look at this. It's expecting an argument to be passed into it by the user. So look, if we click this now, look at this. It's popped up with a little box asking the user to enter something. So in my case here, I'm going to enter subscribe to me, because you should all be subscribed if you haven't already. And watch this. If I now click enter, our bot now replies with the exact thing that I just passed in. Subscribe to me. How cool is that? You've now created 2 slash commands, and you've also learned how you can get a user to pass in information to the slash command to your bot. How cool is that? And that now brings us to the end of episode 3 of this series. I so hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. As I said before, if you have any problems at all when making this bot, consider joining my Discord server. We'll help you out in there. And if you haven't already, please do consider giving this video a like. And while you're there, please do consider subscribing. It helps me out so much. But thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one.